You have a credit card with a $5,000 limit. You spend $2,000 on it throughout the month. You have the money sitting right there in your bank account. The bill comes in, you pay the full balance. Zero interest, zero late fees. You did everything right. 3 days later, you get a notification on your phone that your credit score just dropped 20 points. That's not a glitch. It's not identity theft. That's just the credit system doing exactly what it is designed to do. Until you know about that one specific date on the calendar, it's going to keep happening to you every single month, no matter how responsible you are. Here's what I'm going to show you today. You're going to learn about why scores drop even when you pay on time, the one date that actually controls your credit score, the 1% rule that separates people with good credit from people with great credit, and the exact step-by-step process to put all of it into action, starting this week. I used this exact strategy to push my own credit score to almost a perfect 850. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to do the same thing. Here's what most people think happens. They swipe their card, they spend some money throughout the month, the bill comes in, they pay it, the credit bureaus see a zero balance, a clean slate. This is not how it works. The credit bureaus do not watch your account in real time. They do not update the moment when you actually make a payment. What actually happens is that your bank takes a single snapshot of your balance once a month and sends that snapshot to the 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. That number gets locked into your credit report for the entire month. Here's the problem. That snapshot never gets taken before you get a chance to pay. Let me walk you through the actual timeline so this is crystal clear. Your billing cycle runs for about 30 days. During those 30 days, you're buying groceries, gas, subscriptions, maybe a few bigger purchases. Your balance is climbing. At the end of those 30 days, the billing cycle closes. Your bank generates a statement, and that statement captures the current balance at that exact moment. This is called a statement closing date. That balance on the statement is a number that the bank sends straight to the credit bureaus. Then, about 25 days after the statement closes, your payment is actually due. So you might carry $2,500 balance that gets reported to the bureaus on the 30th. You pay the $2,500 in full on the 20th of the following month. You pay zero interest, you're never late, but the bureaus already locked in that $2,500 before you paid a single dollar. Your credit report shows high usage, even though your bank account shows a responsible borrower. I hear from people all the time who are terrified to use their credit cards. Every time they make big purchases, the score drops. They think it's something broken or the system is working against them. The system is not broken, it's just operating on a delay. And if you don't know how to control the timing, you're letting the bank decide what your credit report looks like every single month. Now, here is why that one number matters so much more than most people realize. Your credit score is made up of 5 categories. Payment history is the biggest at 35%. That makes sense because they want to make sure that you pay your bills on time. Right behind it at 30% is something called amounts owed. This is almost entirely driven by your credit utilization, the percentage of available credit that you're currently using. Think about that. Nearly 1/3 of your entire credit score is based on how much of your available credit shows up on that snapshot on that one specific day each month. The scoring model gets very unfavorable once you cross certain levels. Under 30% is considered acceptable. Under 10% is actually where better scores live. But here's the part that surprises most people and the part that competitor videos skip over. This does not just apply to your overall credit usage across all of your cards. It applies to every single card individually. You can have $50,000 in total available credit, but if one card with a $600 limit is maxed out, your score takes a hit from that card alone. The algorithm sees that single maxed out account as a warning sign, regardless of how low the other cards are. I've seen people with scores in the 780s drop 30 to 40 points in a single month. They did not miss a payment, they did nothing new. They just put a large purchase on a card with a lower limit and let the statement close before paying it down. The score drops fast, and they had no idea. Here's the part that should actually excite you. Utilization has no memory. Unlike late payments that can sit on your report for up to 7 years, utilization resets every single month. Whatever your balance is this month becomes irrelevant the moment next month's balance gets reported. fix the number this month, and your score responds this month. Now, there is a newer scoring model called FICO 10T that tracks your balance history over time, but the vast majority of lenders are still using older models where utilization resets clean every single month. So for right now, this strategy still works. That is the opportunity, and this is exactly how to take advantage of it. Instead of waiting for your bill to arrive and then paying it, you just pay before the bill has ever been created.
3 to 4 days before your statement closing date, you log into your credit card account and manually pay down your balance to a very low number. When the closing date arrives and the bank generates your statement, it captures that low balance. That is the number that gets sent to the bureaus, and that is a number that determines your utilization for the entire month. Here is exactly how this plays out in real life. Your statement closes on the 15th. On the 11th, your balance is $2,000 on a $5,000 limit. That is 40% utilization. Instead of waiting for the bill, you log in on the 11th and make a manual payment of $1,900. Your balance drops to $100. When the 15th arrives, the bank generates your statement and it shows a balance of $100. That $100 gets sent to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. That is 2% utilization. When your actual due date comes in about 25 days later, you pay the remaining $100. You pay zero interest. The bank got paid in full, and the bureaus receive a great number. Your score reflects a responsible, low-risk borrower. You're not cheating the system. You're just taking control of when the photo gets taken. Instead of letting the bank snap a picture on your worst day of the month, you're cleaning it up before the camera clicks. Now, here's where most people make a second mistake once they learn the strategy. They assume that keeping a low balance is good, getting it to zero must be perfect. If that's what you're planning, there's something important that you need to hear first. Reporting a zero balance on all of your cards every single month actually is not the best strategy for your credit score. The scoring model is built to evaluate how you handle debt. If you report zero balances across every single card month after month, the algorithm does not have enough data to score your behavior accurately. It looks like you're not really using your credit, and a person who does not appear to be using their credit at all is seen as slightly bigger unknown than someone who uses it consistently and keeps it extremely low. People with credit scores at or near 850 carry an average utilization around 1 to 6%, not zero. It's a small intentional balance. The strategy to hit that sweet spot is called the all zero except one method. If you have multiple credit cards, you pay all of them down to zero before the statement closes. On just one card, you leave a tiny balance, something like $10 to $20, which works out to be 1% of that card's limit. This tells the algorithm two things at the same time. You are actively using credit, and you're keeping your usage extremely low. That combination produces the best possible results in the amounts owed category of your score. And here's the thing that trips up most people. Reporting a small balance is not the same thing as carrying a balance and paying interest. You're still paying the full amount by the due date. You were just timing the payment so that the statement captures a low number before you clear it out completely. There's no interest, just a better score. Now that you've got the full strategy, here's a step-by-step process to actually execute it, starting today. Step 1, find your statement closing date on every card that you have. This isn't the same as your due date. Your bank app usually displays the due date loudly because they want you to pay on time. The closing date is often buried. Go to your Statements tab in your app, open up a past bill, and look for the words Billing Cycle End Date or Next Closing Date. Write this down for every single card that you carry. Step 2 is set recurring reminders 2 to 3 days before the closing date. If your card closes on the 15th, set a monthly reminder for the 12th or the 13th. That buffer matters because bank transfers can take 1 to 2 business days to post on your account. You don't want to try to pay it off on the 14th and have it post on the 16th after the snapshot has already been taken. Step 3 is to make a manual payment on your reminder day. log into your credit card account and check your current balance. Decide what you want the bureaus to see. If you're using the 1% rule, calculate 1% of your card limit and leave that amount on the card. Pay everything above that number right then and there. Do not rely on autopay for this step. Autopay is designed to protect you from late fees. It is set up to pull the payment after the statement closes. It does not help you control what gets reported. Step 4 is to pay the remaining small balance by the due date. After your statement closes, you'll get an email showing you your new statement. It should show you a very low balance that you left. That remaining amount needs to be paid off by the due date. You can use autopay for this part. The important thing is not letting that small amount slip through, because a missed payment, even on a $10 balance, does far more damage to your score than any amount of high utilization ever would. Step 5 is to keep your spending within your credit limit each month. Some people fall into this pattern called credit cycling. This is where you hit your credit limit, pay it down in the middle of the month, and then hit the limit again before the statement closes. Banks flag this as suspicious activity and can result in your account being reviewed, frozen, or even closed. If you find yourself constantly maxing out your credit card just to use it again, the real solution is requesting a credit limit increase. So call up your issuer, explain how you pay in full every single month, and you need more room for regular expenses, and ask for a higher limit. A higher limit just means lower utilization naturally, without all the extra steps. This is a complete system. Find a closing date, set a reminder, pay it down early, leave 1%, pay the rest by the due date, and repeat every month. So now that you have the full picture, you know why your score drops even when you pay on time, you know how to control exactly what gets reported to the bureaus, and you know the 1% rule that separates people with average scores from people with excellent ones. But here's the thing. Utilization is just one piece of the puzzle. If your score is still stuck in the 500s or 600s, or you keep getting denied for credit cards or loans that you feel like you should qualify for, there's almost certainly more things going on your credit report. Negative marks, collections, outdated information, errors that are not even yours. None of that clears itself up on its own. Take the time to review your full credit report and address those issues directly. That's how you build the kind of profile that actually gets you approved for the things that matter. If you are serious about your credit, start with the steps you learned today and keep going.